Hello and welcome to another Xterra video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. And as you can see, my truck is in the middle of one project, but while I'm actually waiting for some parts, I cannot continue with this project. I decided to start and work on the next project. Why waste time? So what I'm gonna try to do today is I'm gonna try to modify my roof basket, the big box over there. I'm gonna try to install a lift support to it. So let's see what happens. The reason why I want to have a lift support over here is because when I open this up, I have to hold it by one hand, trying to get something from here, and it's kind of complicated. So I want to have a lift, the gas struts over here, so when I open it, I want just this to just lift up. So that's what I'm gonna try to do now. So let me take this down on the workbench and we'll see how we're gonna make that happen. The gas struts I picked up from Amazon, they were not expensive, and the ones I got are rated for 20 pounds I believe, and I know this cover is not where near 20 pounds, but I actually have another plan for this cover as well, which is gonna be in this video as well. It's coming, but for now I'm gonna work on mounting this and you guys gonna see what I have in plan. Hopefully you guys gonna like it as well. So now I'm gonna work on this, trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this happen, how I'm gonna make this work so it doesn't break anything here. So what I'm actually thinking to install it, something like that. I don't really need it to open up 90 degrees. I need it to open up about this much. So I'm thinking to make a hole over here. This feels like a thicker plastic over here. Maybe not, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna make more holes here. So gonna mount that over there. Now this part over here, I have a latch going in here, so I will have to bring it lower than the latch in order not to interfere with the bolts and stuff. So basically like somewhere in the middle over there I guess, but that should be fine. I don't think that's gonna interfere. No, that's not gonna interfere with the latch. Yeah, I think that's gonna be actually perfect. And the reason why I don't want it to open 90 degrees, you guys gonna see why in a little bit. So now I'm gonna mark this and make some holes. So I marked over here about an inch. I need to be inch lower than this part. So this is gonna be something like that, and of course it's gonna be against there, and I think it's gonna be perfect like that. So now I'm gonna make a couple of holes here, mount this, and make a couple of holes over there. Of course I'm not gonna leave it like that, I'm just trying it out to see if it's gonna close. Okay, so let's see if I can close it without breaking anything major here. And it doesn't close. So unfortunately I have two holes over here, but I'm gonna try to patch them up. So this over here is too high up. I would have to be like somewhere over here actually in order for it to work, because then once I close this, if I compress this anywhere within this range, I should be fine. I have to put this actually like over here on the opposite side, but that's why we do this, try and error, right? Let me redo this over there. Alright, so let's try this again and try to close this carefully. Alright, and now it closes fine. Good. So now I can take this out, do the same thing on the other side, and this time around I'm actually gonna put bolts in there. Alright guys, so I have a good news and a bad news. The good news that the gas struts, they do work. So when it's in closed position and then I go ahead and I open it up, it opens up perfect. Just perfect, just the way I want it and everything. But when I try to open it, I guess because of the way that this case is constructed, as you can see, it has a lot of flex to it. I mean, it's sturdy, but still it has a lot of flex to it. So when I try to close it up, the lid, as you can see over here, it kind of get deformed. So everything is kind of deformed. So it doesn't really closes up properly. I have to kind of force it in, especially the sides. And then in the back there is a little bit of a gap. I don't think the water is gonna go in there. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this time it will keep it firm and it's not gonna deform. Maybe. But I really like how I just open it up like that, and it just opens up just perfect. I'm probably gonna go ahead and continue and mount this permanently with not these screws but with the bolts, and then I'm gonna start working on the next stage over here. You guys gonna see it in a minute, but for me that part is actually coming tomorrow, so stay tuned.
The next day.
So yesterday I still continued to work more on this case, trying to redesign it off camera, and actually I think I made it work. So let me guys show you. So now if I open this up, there you go, it opens up. So I repositioned the gas struts from here to here instead of here, so now I can actually open it and close it with no effort. But now it closes pretty good and there's almost no gap anywhere. But anyways, now that this part is done, I have a next step to do here. This is my plan, guys. Look what I got. I got a solar panel. So my plan is to install this solar panel on top of this. Not really sure yet how that's gonna work out. I will have to make some kind of brackets over here to hold it in place, which I'm still not sure how that's gonna look as well. So now I'm gonna put it on top of the truck again, take the solar panel out, and I'm gonna start looking how I'm gonna secure it, make sure that this is not gonna interfere with the boxes up there and with everything else up there. So this is a solar panel I got. It measures 20 inch by almost 34, almost 33 and a half. So let me take it up there and start figuring out how I'm gonna mount it. So this is something like that. First of all, of course, I need to relocate my shovel, or either just at least maybe turn it around, something like that. So now I have to make some kind of brackets so it's lifted up more. That way I have access to the latches, the side latches. I almost have no problems getting to, but I need to make some kind of bracket so it's lifted up and slightly away from this one so I can open it up. But overall it's not too bad. I actually like how it's coming out already. So now I'm gonna work on figuring out what kind of brackets I'm gonna fabricate here and how I'm gonna secure this, and yeah, we'll take it from there, guys. So basically I need to mount it something like that with some kind of bracket spaced out over here, but this is how far it has to go this way, so I can open up those brackets and take out those boxes, and at the same time when these brackets are closed I can open up this part. So now I'm gonna take everything down so I can work on the bench and start fabricating something. So I'm thinking to use a flat aluminum and bend this somehow over here and over here. So that's gonna be my bracket. I may be using 3 of them or 2 of them, depends how I can make it happen. But that's the plan. So I'm gonna work on that, trying to figure out, do different bands and stuff like that, and we'll see how that's gonna work out.
A few moments later.
Now my original plan was to use this aluminum and bend this, but I feel like I might not be consistent with the bends, because even though it's aluminum it's easy to bend, but sometimes the bends not be consistent. Maybe just me. But I have these aluminum angles from a previous project, so what I'm actually thinking is to maybe sandwich them together like that, and that's gonna give me a perfect angle the way I need it, so I can use 3 of them, maybe something like that, and use that to mount it. I'm gonna replace these screws for bolts and stuff, so I think that'll be a better option. So I'm gonna play with that now and see how that's gonna work out. Alright guys, so this is how it's coming out. I think it's coming out not too bad. And if you guys notice, I made this bracket slightly lower and this is higher, so it has a tilt. So hopefully that will help with the airflow, and the water is gonna be going down, so I think that's gonna be alright like that. So now I'm gonna work on marking the holes over here, where I'm gonna make the holes through the top of this the cover, so then I can bolt it in place there. So the brackets are pretty much made, and they're gonna be like so over here. So now I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of aluminum 15-inch long, which gonna be on the inside, so this can be sandwiched together like that. So gonna cut 2 pieces, make the holes, and then I have to mount this on the solar panel again, put it here, somehow mark it here, so I gotta make sure that it's straight. and yeah, and start bolting this. Alright, the brackets are cut and this is all cut and drilled out. So now what I have to do, I need to mount these brackets to the solar panel again, put it over here, and then I think I'm gonna mark around, or because I don't think I can get inside here with a Sharpie to mark where I need to make the holes. And yeah, so it's gonna be a long process of putting together, disassembling, putting together, disassembling. Now in order for me to mark those holes at the bracket on the box, what I actually did, I put a double stick tape on the bottom of the bracket. So now my plan is to peel this off, lay it on the box, remove it from the solar panel. Hopefully they still gonna be in place, and that's how I can determine where I have to drill. And also this is gonna act as a sealer, so hopefully no water is gonna go through. At least that's the plan. So oh, and yeah, I already painted the brackets black, so but I missed a part over here, of course. Okay guys, and the solar panel is on with a double stick tape in there, and it's almost even. It's kind of even hard to take it out now with a double stick tape. Maybe I just should leave it like that. Maybe it's not gonna go anywhere. No, anyways, I'm gonna take these bolts off now, and hopefully the brackets will remain there, and then I can drill through it and sandwich it together with these spacers. That way it's gonna be for sure secured. And sure enough, the brackets are still there, so now I know exactly where I need to drill, and that's gonna make my life so much easier. Alright, and the brackets are in place and secured. So now I can actually take it to the top of a truck, mount it over there, and then mount the solar panel, so that way it's gonna be easier for me to get it up there. So as you can see guys, I'm on top of my truck and the panel is mounted, and I'm actually trying to open it, make sure it doesn't hit it. This is fine. This is more than enough for me space to take the stuff in and out. I'd never put big stuff in here anyways. But as you can see, the gas struts are not strong enough to open up the panel. So I need to replace my gas struts. I gotta get something stronger, but this is already pretty good. I just need to get a different gas struts. So the solar panel is installed and the box is back in place. So I picked up this 10 feet of a cable for solar panel. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start routing this cable somehow on the side, and I'm gonna work bringing it inside of my truck. So I'm gonna work on that, try to figure it out, and then I'm gonna show you how I did it and why I did it. So stay tuned. So now to secure the cable going down over here, I'm actually gonna use like a magnetic straps. So it's gonna be strapped like that. I used this already before. I put a bolt over here with a plastic strap and a magnet over here. That way I can position it anywhere I want, and later I can move it or take it out. Now the wire is going to be going down over here, then it's going to go through the grommet, and then over here I made another hole and I put the rubber grommet, so the cable is going to be coming here. I'm going to fix it up, attach it to this. It's going to look somewhat better. But now I'm gonna work on securing the cable so I can close this all up. So you guys probably wondering why am I doing all of this, why I'm putting the solar panel in there. why I'm running the wires in here and why sometimes I do what I do. And the reason is, recently I worked on one truck, and as a thank you and a payment, I was given this power station, so that's why I was running the cables in there, so that way I can keep it in the truck and keep it charging whenever the truck even is parked. Dude, that is pretty cool. So let me see if this gonna fit in there. Now I still need to figure out how in there I'm gonna mount it. Maybe temporarily I'm gonna keep it in this corner, therefore the cable is here. I can plug it in here and keep my unit charging up. So now actually, just to even test it, I'm gonna connect this cable up on the roof. And okay guys, the cables are connected, it's very easy, they only go one way in, so all of this is done. I think it came out not too bad. And the cable coming down is very hidden, you cannot even see it, and it's not getting crimped over here, so that's pretty good. So now let's connect it to our power station, and there we go, we're getting power. It's starting to charge. That's pretty cool. It's actually working. Nice. But also I have another 12-volt port over here. I can connect the cigarette lighter port, and that way it's gonna charge faster. But right now we're getting 64 watts. That's pretty good. For this unit you don't even need the MPPT controller, it has a built-in one, so that's pretty cool. So it's charging, it's working. Now I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna mount it so it doesn't bounce around. So my next step in this project, I need to build some kind of base or a shelf or something over here so the unit can be placed somewhere here. That way I can always access this without moving this around. I mean, I don't really need to get here all the time, so maybe temporarily I'm gonna secure it over here with a sort of strap. Just put this in here and just keep this in here like that, maybe. We'll see.
Much later.
So I made some progress off camera. I made this base. This is gonna be the bottom portion. I know it looks a little bit crooked, but it's gonna get straightened out. Then my plan is to use this bracket. It's gonna be on the bottom over here. Then I had some leftovers this night is from some job, so the plan is to cut them short at about 6 inches and weld them over here like that. So that's gonna give me a good support. So that's what I'm gonna be working on now. So this is gonna be something like that. There is gonna be one more in the middle for support, and then what I'm actually gonna do also, I'm gonna have another metal bracket going all the way from here, supporting underneath, and going to this leg over here. That way it's not gonna bounce like that, so it's gonna be all well supported. So I'm gonna continue working on that, welding it all up, painting it, and then guys, I'm gonna show you the end result. So still working on this shelf. Most of it is already welded. Now I'm checking where I'm gonna weld this support bracket to the shelf, how far it has to be. So I'm gonna weld it to the shelf, but over here I'm gonna make a hole and I'm gonna bolt it over here and in the back. And also gonna mark 3 holes over here and gonna secure the same way I did this. And the shelf is almost ready. And there we go guys, this is the shelf I made. Is it pretty? Absolutely not. Will I lose sleep over it? Probably not either. So now I'm just gonna finish up cleaning it up and just gonna paint it and then gonna mount it inside, and hopefully the thing's still gonna fit in there. Okay, so the shelf is ready, it's all painted and dry. So now I'm gonna be working on installing it in here, mounting to these legs and to 3 spring nuts over here, and the shelf is in place and it feels sturdy. Hopefully it's gonna withstand the 45 pounds that I'm gonna put here. I was thinking maybe I should weld something over here, but these brackets are pretty strong and I have this support going across, so there is not gonna be any play on it. So now I'm just gonna work on, I'm gonna put some plastic corner around. That way it's the power station is gonna be sitting on plastic and not gonna rattle around or anything. So gonna cut this around, put this in place, and this is almost done. Now am I glad that this handle is removable, because with the handle it actually doesn't fit in here. I cannot lift it enough to slide it in there, but now that the handle is gone, I should have enough clearance to put it in place. So now to keep everything in place, all this plastic, I'm simply gonna use the 3M tape, the double stick tape, and just put it in a few places underneath. I mean, it's probably not gonna go anywhere once the unit is in place, but just so whenever I take it off, so it doesn't move around, gonna put this in place, and that's it. Alright guys, the unit is in place. It's up on a shelf, and with this plastic in there, there is almost no play already. It's pretty much not gonna go anywhere, but I'm still gonna secure it. For now, I'm gonna have this kind of strap. I don't have a different one. I'm actually gonna order them, and gonna have two black straps holding it over here, wrapping the whole thing around, so it's not gonna go anywhere. Alright guys, and the shelf is done and the unit is mounted. I secured it with this strap so it's not gonna jump up and down, which with that weight I doubt it's gonna jump, but anyways, it's secured, and yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere guys. So now I can keep it over here whenever I go up on a trail, and of course whenever I need, I can always access this. I can open this, no problem. So that is pretty cool as well. I really like how this came out, and I always can keep it in here, and I can always have it connected to my solar panel on the roof. That way it's gonna be charging whenever I'm driving, or in fact if I need to charge it faster, I have another 12-volt outlet over here. I can connect that to the second input port, so it's gonna charge even faster. But I really like this setup. And I really doubt it's gonna go anywhere. I really doubt anymore. I really hope that the welds not gonna break, but this should be strong enough. So yeah, I'm somewhat considering another project successfully done. And of course I can still access my roof basket, and now that I open it, it actually stays open. Nice. So I can easily take my stuff and put stuff inside.
2,000 years later.
So I'm using the heat gun now over here with extension, and it works pretty good, but I don't have a long extension enough to reach to the house outlet, and I just wanted to try what I have. I connected to my battery backup and it's working just fine. I'm using the heat gun and it's working, so that's amazing. Alright guys, another project successfully done, and in a way it even came out slightly better than I expected, so that's a plus. I had this idea to build something like this for quite some time, and finally I was able to do it. Thankfully that power station was given to me for helping to work on a truck, so that's a big plus. If not that, I wouldn't be able to do this. Everything just came out just the way I wanted, and the fact that originally I got that roof basket lower than the other two boxes is kinda in a way worked out just perfect. I have just enough clearance over there for the solar panel, so it's still below everything, so hopefully it's not gonna get damaged or anything. And the way I mounted those struts in there, so now it opens up, just amazing. Sometimes I even surprise myself. So I'm gonna leave the links in the description to the stuff I use, like the solar panel and maybe this power station, in case you guys want to check it out. But always feel free to ask me questions, and always try to do something guys yourself. It's always worth it. So on this note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful, and as always, until next time, everybody, bye.